So welcome to the English Without Borders series of webinars. We are very happy to continue our Thursday webinars with outstanding teacher practitioners, experts, both from global platforms and also from Tajikistan as well. And so today we are very happy to host our local expert and local teacher practitioner. So please welcome Khurshed Abdulloev. So Khurshed, nice to welcome you, and let me just tell some words about you to our audience. Khurshed has 5 years of experience in education, and this experience comes from teaching both in secondary schools and language centers in Kushoniyon and Bokhtar. He holds a bachelor's degree in English language teaching from Bokhtar State University. In addition, he successfully completed the 2019 English Teaching Mentor Program Intensive multi-day training workshops in Dushanbe, focusing on English language teaching. And in the same year, he was nominated by the US Embassy to participate and present Tajikistan in the Central Asian Teachers of English Conference, CATEC, in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Khurshed regularly attends professional development workshops and conferences, both online and offline, which brought him into contact with a wide range of people. And he currently is working as an English language instructor at the UCA School of Professional and Continuing Education in Bokhtar, Tajikistan. And today, Khurshed will be presenting a very interesting topic about integrating critical thinking in English EFL classroom. So now I'm very happy to give the floor to Khurshed Abdulloev. And dear audience, please use the chat box, and people who are joining us via Facebook, you can also write your questions in the comment box. So we'll be forwarding your questions to our speaker later on after he finishes his presentation. So please, the floor is yours, Khurshed.
All right, thank you very much, Nasiba. That was a very descriptive introduction of me. Thank you very much for that. And good evening, everybody. It's nice meeting all of you here today, and I feel really honored to share some of the experience I have on teaching today. And as Nasiba said, today we are going to talk about one of the 21st century skills, that's critical thinking. And today we will go deeper into some of the activities which will help you and your students to motivate your students to consolidate this skill in them, and maybe improve it a little bit, because this is a skill which is pretty needed in our society nowadays, and all the companies, all the establishments, organizations throughout the world are looking for employees who are able to think critically and creatively. So today we will talk about all of these stuff, and one of the parts of these, as I talk about employees, I have to say that we will talk a little bit about problem solving skill too, because that's a part of critical thinking. So if it's a time, we can start with the PowerPoint presentation, I think. If you let me share my screen, I will try to do that now. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Khurshed, we can see your screen. You can continue.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. As I say, today we'll talk about the topic of integrating critical thinking in EFL classroom, and today we'll talk about in which levels maybe you can use critical thinking. And at the end, at the Q&A session, you will ask me questions, and I will be glad to help and answer those questions as well. The first thing I would like to share with you is a quote from Galileo Galilei, and it says, "You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him discover it within himself." And with this, I would like to start because mainly critical thinking activities are in English classroom are the activities which help students to get engaged, to be involved in the process, and find the context, find the needed information themselves. So the teacher here will be only, how to say, a person who will lead them through the activity, but not tell them the facts and needed information, pieces of information. So this is what Galileo Galilei said in the, let's say, this was before Anno Domini. This is like the year 1564, 1642. So this was pretty early, like early in the past, they started to do these, to go into this skill, and for years this skill was how to say, improving, and now we can use it in our classrooms as well. And the first question I would like to ask the audience, today's audience, what do you think? What is critical thinking? Could you please write your answers in the chat box if you could? So I cannot see the chat box right now.
Khurshed, we will read aloud all the responses from the participants. Yeah. Okay.
So what is critical thinking?
Yeah. Some people has already written. It's a crucial skill. Critical mainly about asking questions. Tojiniso is saying the ability to look at things from different perspectives. Nurali is saying different ways of thinking. Zebohon is saying it's making us think.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Gulnoro is saying looking at this the issue from different angles and try to find a potential solution.
Wow, that's a very good. Those are very good descriptions. Thank you for those. And you see, these people, like all of the audience, they are giving me answers. They are giving us answers, and all of them have something unique in them. It means that critical thinking is not a skill which can be defined by only one or two words. That's a skill which is very wide in its nature. And today we will go to some of those areas. And I have one definition from a website called www.criticalthinking.org. And I wrote it on my, you can see it now. Critical thinking is a process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, or evaluating information which is gathered from or generated by observation, from experience, our reflections, and reasoning or communication. So what it means is critical thinking is a skill which helps people to back up their ideas. So when you are saying, giving an idea, like presenting your viewpoint, you have to back it up for others to believe in that. And also it helps people to differentiate between an opinion and a fact. So those are some of the things that which are very important in our daily lives. And let's why am I trying to how to say, to ask teachers, ask my colleagues throughout Tajikistan to integrate this skill in their curriculum and teach within the English language classroom. Why? It's a maybe there will be questions from the audience. What I'm trying to do is critical thinking is a skill which applies in our daily life. How? Let's look at some areas which it may apply. So the first thing we do, like shopping, healthcare, media, traveling, these are some of the points, some of the parts of our daily lives. And these are some of the things we do. So the first thing is shopping. For example, you are going shopping and you want to go to buy clothes, let's say. What criteria do you look at? What criteria do you usually, how to say, take in mind when you go shopping for clothes? Of course, you go to buy. Of course, you look for quality. Good. It's a good quality. It's made of good materials, and also you are probably looking for something cheap. But so this is a step, one of the steps when you are going to apply your critical thinking, when you are like when you go into a shop which is filled with clothes, and you have to look at all of these stuff, all of these options, choices, and then choose one which is better and which suits your needs. And this needs some thinking, some how to say, and the salesperson may give you a lot of opinions, may tell you a lot of things. They tell you that this is the best. This is made in Turkey. This is made in Germany. And through all of these, like how to say it, chit chatting, you have to have the ability to how to say, to choose the best option. And also when you go, the second point is healthcare. When you are going to a hospital, you have to look at all the options you have. You have to look at the conditions at a hospital. You have to look at the how to say, at the money which they ask for. Of course, this is not in how to say, in certain situations where you need help, first aid. This is not the situation where, but this is a different type of healthcare way when you want to improve your health, but it's not first aid. And for media, what I want to say about media, so there's a lot of chit-chatting on social media, on TV about how young people don't have these skills, how they are illiterate in media, and how they take the how to say, the ideas, the opinions of other people as facts. And this is where when we teach them in our classroom to be to differentiate between opinions and facts, the generation, the next generation, the new generation will have the ability to look his way through all of these how to say, conversations on social media, all this news which come flooding at us, and at least have a life without a skim, without a how to say, live without others' opinions on them. And the next is traveling. When you are traveling, you need you have nowadays you have a lot of options, of course, with traveling too. Where to go, how to go, what to do, what to take with you, what are the best options. All of these, I think, need some preparation done beforehand, and also it needs a lot of consideration. And taking in mind all of these things, that it applies there. These are only 4 parts, only 4 areas that critical thinking may be applied, but there are many other areas you can apply critical thinking in. And let's go to some activities, because today we are going to talk. I think I talked a lot about like when we use critical thinking, when we need it. Let's go to the facts. Let's go to how we can foster critical thinking in our classes and motivate our students to be critical thinkers and problem solvers and team players. And today, the several activities which I chose are the ones which will integrate all of these skills in them. And some of the activities are, so the first one is categorizing, as you see, categorizing. So I'm giving this activity. I chose this activity, categorizing activities. Why did I choose them? Because you can use them not only in your like intermediate level or upper level classes, but also in lower level classes with your primary students. That's a best part about categorizing activities. Also, prioritizing activities are the ones you can use with low levels and higher levels. Thinking outside the box is another one which can be used in both with all levels and ages. And also the last activity, which is my favorite, is cause and effect. And this is one of the activities which I use on daily basis, and it works pretty well. And I believe you will like it. By the end of this session, you will have the idea of how to conduct and apply this in your classroom. And let's go through some of the activities, through some of the categorizing, prioritizing tasks which I use in my classroom. So, for example, when you are doing categorizing things, categorization. The other day, yesterday, I did an activity called Name 10 with my students, and it was about like I chose one category, and then I asked them to write. I gave them 1 minute. I put them into, divided them in two groups. I said, you have 1 minute to write 10 items of one category. For example, we worked on clothes, fruits, and also we worked on jobs, because it helped me to lead into the new topic, which was jobs. And so students try to write 10 items. This is a kind of categorization. It's a kind of categorizing things, but in this activity, in Name 10, you are already giving students the category. But so look, here I have 5 different kind of tasks. The first one says things you want to do alone. So please write down like things that you want to do alone. You may give them the number. You may give them like, depending on their skill level, depending on their knowledge of the subject, you can give them like lower number or higher number. It depends on you. And then you have things you want to do with your family and friends, things that cost a lot of money. You can give that to things that are dangerous or risky. And now I want to try one of these with our audience. Let's try which one. Nasiba, what do you think? Which one should we choose for our audience?
Oh, so since it's maybe like, things you want to do with your family and friends, because like, evening time is devoted to family and friends, maybe something relevant to that.
Okay, that's a nice one. So I would like to ask the audience to write down at least 2 things that they want to do with their families and friends. Please be kind and write in the comment section, and Nasiba will read them.
Yes, I will read
us.
them aloud. Yes. Okay.
Very much.
Okay, people are writing. Have dinner, watch a comedy, and dance.
All right.
So go to picnic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To read a book to my son. Okay.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Hanging
All right.
out.
So we have some ideas there. Hanging
Yeah.
out with friends. Okay,
Yeah.
with family members. Good. If you look at this slide, on top you have a big word. It's super big word. Even for me, it was a shock when the first time I read it. It's called metacognition. Metacognition means thinking about your own thinking. And I thought, how does it like apply in critical thinking? But as I am using these, uh, then I stopped. I said, oh, I feel like doing some of these things with my family. I feel like doing some of these things with my family members. So this is a category. So then I categorize them, and this is when I am thinking about the process that I think about. It's it's the way I feel, and I have usually in daily life we don't give it much thought that what we do. Like some of the things they happen automatically. Like what you like to do in your free time is a automatic thing. It's a nature. It's in your nature. But if you just uh, think for a moment about it, it will be there will be some, how to say, uh, news and some surprises for you as well. So this is the metacognition tasks, which is like categorizing one of them or prioritizing. Uh, these help students to think about their thinking, which is also critical. Not only think about others' opinions and ideas on their lives, but also about their own thinking process. And that the next is, oh, I say, let me go back to the previous. I didn't put the tasks. I want to just ask questions. So the next one is prioritizing. The prioritizing tasks are, for example, we had tasks like you are going on a trip for 1 month. What would you take with yourself? Then why, or there will be some items given to you. Like for example, you are going on a picnic. There are like you are going on a picnic or on a camping trip for like a week, and then you have some options to choose. There are 3 to 5 things. There is sleeping bag, there is knife, there are some food items, and then you have the option of choosing 2 or 3 of them and leave the two or three other items behind. And there, students have uh, to give uh, reasons to bring reasons to back up their ideas. When they say I need the knife to go with me, or I need the sleeping bag, they have to show you the importance of that item, and then they will have to say defend their point. But also, so this prioritizing tasks are mostly used in debate. As Saadi in the last week's session said, so debate improves critical thinking, and prioritizing is one of the tasks which is done within debate a lot. So the next task is thinking outside the box. So what it means, thinking outside the box. So now I want to do this with the audience. So there are 2 more activities which I want to do with the audience right now. Thinking outside the box is a task which I do with my higher level students usually, but it can be done with lower levels as well, depending on the situation. But look, if usually I bring realia to my classroom. I bring like a spoon to my classroom, or uh, a box, or any other thing. I can bring a cup, a mug, and I ask students, what do we use this item for? And they say, if it is a mug, they say we use it for drinking, coffee, tea, soda, different stuff. Mostly drinking, because that's a daily, that's what we use it on daily basis. But uh, then I asked them, hey guys, can you think of any other uses for this item? And then the students are shocked sometimes. The calm feeling around the classroom spreads, and you see that students are looking for ideas. And usually I do this task, putting students in groups. Students work in teams of uh, 3 to 4 students, and they will come up with ideas. And sometimes they come up with very surprising ideas uh, different uh, on different items. So today I am we are going to do one of these with the audience. So let's choose one item. Uh, I would like to choose an item uh, from my from one of my lessons. The item is a clothing item, clothes. It's hat, hat. What do we use a hat for other than wearing it on cold days in winter or autumn? What do we use a hat for? What can we use a hat for? A hat, um, can it be used in any other ways than wearing it in cold days? Can we do any other things with it? And I would like to ask the audience, please be active and write in the chat box your ideas. We will be glad to have them, to listen to them. Nasiba, do we have any ideas?
Yes, people start writing.
In the chat
so
box?
yeah, sure. I'm just going to read it. So okay, to put some small items in that, Bahti Begin is saying, you know, to collect money when giving a street performance. Tojin So has written. Okay, and another one is to use it as a plate for strawberry for granny. Okay, to protect someone from the sunshine. Okay, sing pass pass. They had to play a game about adjective or phonics. Yeah, for making focus. Gulnora is saying putting my knitting tools there. Zebo is saying to putting jewelry stuff. Another one is saying it's only for being beautiful. To put on the teapot in order to keep tea hot.
Wow, that's an idea.
Yeah, to dance with it.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, and also, in my opinion, you can use it as a nest for your pets, as a home for your pets.
Wow, good. So I like all of these ideas. Look, this one item, which is usually looked at as a warm clothes item, which you wear in winter, can be used in many other ways. So students, as one of our participants of today's session said, that looking at problems or looking at things from different angles. Now we looked at hat from many different angles, and we came up with so many different ideas. And some of them are surprisingly new to me. Of course, I did this activity several times in my classroom, but some of the ideas still are new to me. And I love to do this activity in the classroom because every time you go in, you will have some new ideas, of course. And we will swiftly move on to the next task, which is called cause and effect. And we will talk about it in a moment. After I will share with you one activity, which is like an extra activity, which is already talked about in the previous webinars on EBB Network website. It's called jigsaw activity. Why I want to show this activity to our audience today, because usually you cannot do critical thinking without integrating it or integrating some other activities with it. So one of the other things which goes with critical thinking tasks is group work or cooperative learning strategy. And through this my experience in teaching, one of the best tasks in cooperative learning which I came across is jigsaw reading activity. I do it a lot in my classroom because it's applicable in all levels. Of course, not in I would say pre-starter levels, but in starter levels I did it, in elementary, pre-intermediate, intermediate, and upper intermediate levels, and it works well all the time. Of course, with a changing context. But so the way it works today, I want to show the way it works. There are several ways people use this activity, but one or two ways I use this activity are, so the first one is I put students in groups. Like if you see, I have number one home group. Do you see it? You see it?
Yes, we see it. We see that.
All right. We have, if you look at it, we have two home groups. So the first home group is when students are given tasks to read. Like, for example, I divided reading material into like several halves, into different parts, and according to the number of students in one group. And then I ask the students to read that information. They will read it one time, and then I ask the students to count from, like, if there are 4 students in one group, to count from 1 to 4. And if they count from 1 to 4, there will be 4 groups, 4 expert groups. So all ones go with the ones from other teams. Like there are 4 teams, and the 4 teams have ones. All the ones go to one place. All the 2s go to one place. All the 3s and all the 4s do the same thing. And they are called now expert groups, which you can see here. All are red. Expert groups will be given some, usually I give them some, how to say, questions, comprehension questions to answer usually, or to fill in the gap activity, which comes from the text. They will sit and, their piece of text, they will sit and discuss their part of the text. They will have, they will learn it deeper, they will discuss it, and they will learn it to teach to others. And this way, they will gain a lot of information from this task, because if you know Bloom's taxonomy, there you have like the levels of doing stuff, and the highest is when you teach to others. So when you teach to others, you will get 90% of the information from the learned material. So they will go to expert groups. After expert groups, you will take them back to their home groups, and in their home groups they will teach every student. Like once the students who were like A group or one group, they will go and teach their part deeply, and then the 2s will share their part, and the 3rd, the 4th, they will try to share, and the text will be complete, and it takes less time. This is one of the ways, and usually this technique takes a little bit longer to do in classes, and I use this technique in my higher level classes. But the next slide I'm showing you is an easier, how to say, an easier choice. And if you see, I will just put students in groups, and they are straightly expert groups. I will divide the text, like if I have 4 groups, I will divide it in 4 groups, and the students A will read their part, B's read their part, C's read their part, and D's also read their part. And then I will tell them to say like apple, banana, strawberry, and then kiwi, or A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will divide them into 4 other teams. So every student in each group, in each teaching group, has a piece of information which the others in the team don't have. They don't have, and they try to teach this material to others. So this picture, I think, is clear. So the A teaches his part, B teaches her part, C teaches his part, and D teaches his part. And this way, the text is complete. But why do we need this in critical thinking? Why do we need it? When students, as I said at the beginning, critical thinking goes with problem solving activities and cooperative learning strategies as well. So in these tasks, students learn the learn the given material, working in groups and teams. They will improve this uh, team playing skill, and they will also learn to problem solve in team. As I said, in companies, there are people in the, even now, people are looking for those who can problem solve and work in teams. So this activity can help them to work in groups and uh, think not only about what they think, not only tell and express not only what they think, but also listen to the ideas of others. And then in these groups there will be discussion, which is the most important part. The teaching groups, they will teach and then they will have discussion. And the discussion parts, there will be opinions, there will be facts, there will be different ideas. And then students here have the responsibility to choose or to differentiate between opinions and facts, and then choose the best options and come up with the ideas. Because after this, usually I ask one of them or two of them to present what they have come up with during the discussion, and it usually helps and fosters, I think, critical thinking in them as well. And we will move to so we talked about these. So what it builds, benefits of jigsaw reading strategy, it builds interpersonal skills. So they are working in uh, teams. They will learn this communicative approach. They will learn how to deal with other people, be more acceptive of others' opinions and not fight. So usually when I do these tasks, like for the first times, students usually you catch them fighting or like how to say, shouting at each other, but within several sessions you see them that they are now accepting of others' ideas, and they are uh, working in teams, and they are cooperating with others. So as we said, it encourages teamwork, fosters critical thinking, and it's also a cooperative problem solving activity, so which leads students to be cooperative problem solvers in the future. So I have some pictures taken from my classes. This is actually the Access group I taught. I took some photos of them. These are expert groups. This is a easy way of doing jigsaw reading. I first put them in expert groups because this is like elementary level. I didn't want to make it so difficult for them. I just started from expert group, and then they went into their home groups and then taught their parts to others. And if you see, they have notes with them so that they can look from time to time. And this is the way it works. And the last activity we talked about was using graphic organizers. Uh, we talked about cause and effect in the after prioritizing activities. We talked about cause and effect task activity, which I said is my favorite. And why is it my favorite? Because it is like the thinking outside the box activity has many surprising answers from students' parts usually. And usually I give students in this task, I use this activity as a warm-up usually in my classes, but one of the ways I do it is I give them one cause. I may write it on the board, or I may read it for them, depending on their levels. And they have to come up with effects. So what it means, so cause here means something happened, and effect means what is how to say, what came up. So you have a cause given to them, and they come up with with the outcomes of that cause. So what happened after this thing happened. And if you don't mind, I want to give one cause to the audience today. and let them think and write in the chat box what do they think is the outcome of this cause. So let's go first with cause and effect, and then we'll look at effect and cause. I will give one. I will read it to the audience, and let me give this one. This is a funny one. There was a kangaroo in the kitchen. This is a cause. In the morning, you woke up, opened the kitchen door, and there's a kangaroo inside. Of course, you are not in Australia, but there's a kangaroo in the kitchen. So what will happen? What do you think? What are the effects?
We have, yeah, people writing, everything is in a mess.
Okay, that's the first thing coming up. All right. Anything else?
The kangaroo is eating banana.
Okay.
Yeah, destroyed everything.
Destroyed everything. Mm-hmm. Opens the kitchen door.
Yeah, so the food is everywhere. The food is scattered.
All right.
All around.
Okay.
Yeah, the house is close to the zoo.
Oh. All right. The house is close to the zoo, of course.
Another one
That's
is
why.
Kangaroo is making breakfast for the family, probably.
All right. That's probably a pet kangaroo. But I like the idea.
Okay.
Those are great ideas. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Muhammad is writing it's a adjacent room.
Chase it. Could you repeat, please?
Adjacent room.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. Another one is his child is looking. I mean, yeah, you know, the right is probably man, meaning just him. She means kangaroo. His child is looking for some milk.
All right, looking for some milk for his child, maybe for her child. All right, I got the ideas. Thank you very much. And let me give you one more. This time, tell me why this happened. This time we will do it like in reverse order. Now you told me something happened, then the results, how to say, the outcomes. Now, this time I will give you an idea. You will tell me why this happened. Okay? And it says his hair, like Tom's hair, is wet. Why? Why is it wet? What do you think? Could you please write in the chat box one or two ideas, and then we will quickly wrap up.
Okay, people are writing. He came from outside. He has a shower, and it was interesting for him to be there. Rainy weather, and also
Rainy weather.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Stretching. So probably sweating. Worked, and so he has lots of sweat. So he got his hair is also wet.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you. Good job. So
swimming in the swimming pool can be. He has thrown water at. Yeah. He was running. Yeah. Many ideas coming up.
Yes. Thank you for all the ideas. Once I did this with my students. They say Tom's classmates pushed him into the river. That's why his hair is wet. So they have different ideas coming up, and some of them are super funny. But I like the ideas. Thank you for writing, taking your time to write, and giving your opinions to us. So why do I use these? Why do I use cause and effect in my classroom? Because as you say, one of the descriptions of critical thinking is looking at things from different angles, and this activity helps to look at one cause from and give it many effects, and look at it through many angles and many different perspectives. And this also broadens the student's mind and also helps them to think critically in their daily basis lives. And I think this is most of the things we have. And oh, the last thing, sorry, I forgot about this one. It's wait time. So I had this as an how to say? I mean, we had two extra ones. Uh, Number two is wait time. Wait time is when we give students some time to think. And what is it? Usually, in our daily teaching life, we ask students and we uh, expect quick answers. And sometimes those answers are not that much descriptive, that much thought about, that much, how to say, improved. But if you use this technique, wait time, you will have more, how to say, you will have better answers from your students. And what it means, when I ask a question, I give students 30 seconds. I will
Yeah, dear participants, so please write down your questions to Khurshed in the chat box. Uh, yeah, we'll be passing them over to Khurshed. Please write. Okay, good. So okay, now we are very happy to see Khurshed again. So Khurshed, so yeah, we were collecting the questions for you.
all right, all right. I'm ready.
Okay, good. So one of the participants, yeah, they would like to know what do you mean by metacognition? Can you explain metacognition maybe in simple words so the audience will understand it better? Khurshed? Dear participants, once again, we apologize, for these technical issues. So we are all living in turbulent world where internet is not so stable in Tajikistan. So we got again, Khurshed, can you hear
Yes.
us? Oh, all right.
Yes.
Now, yeah, please continue.
So we will. The question was about metacognition. So metacognition, in my understanding, is is being aware of the process of your thinking. So why is it important? Because at times we take actions which are out of our control. Sometimes we do things by our instinctive feelings, the feelings of our gut, and uh, they may lead us to not, how to say, appropriate places. But why we need metacognition, why we need to think about why do we need to be aware of the thinking process of our own? Because we will have better decisions to make. We will have better ideas, and we will have how to say, better choices in life. That's why so metacognition in my mind means being aware of one's own thinking processes. And this is, I think, very important. You have to be aware. They say think before you speak. So that's important because you will give some thought to your own ideas, and then give the talk, give the speech or speak. I'm ready for the next question.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Khurshed, very much. So far, we had only just, yeah, this question. Uh, uh, and another one is just how, Azra is asking how I can apply this idea in collaborative writing tasks. in adult levels? Cause and effect as graphic diagrammic, mind maps, or something like that?
Could you repeat, please? I couldn't get it because, like,
yeah, yeah. She's asking, how can I apply this idea in collaborative writing tasks in adult levels? So probably like adult level teaching. She means, and how to use this cause and effect in writing tasks.
So, does she mean the metacognition tasks?
No, it's mainly about like cause and effect, and how to apply this idea in collaborative writing tasks.
In collaborative way. So, what we do is usually we put. I think I forgot to tell you that what I do usually, I do this in pairs mostly or in groups. So this is in itself a collaborative task. It's in itself a cooperative learning task. So students work in teams, work in pairs, or you can even put them in bigger groups to come up with as many effects as possible. In bigger groups, of course, you have more ideas. When they work when they work in bigger groups, they come up with many ideas. But usually, what I do, I will put them in pairs or groups, and then I will give I give one cause to one team and another to the other group, and then they work. Because if I give one idea, it might take. If I give like 2-3 causes to 2-3 different groups, that will be more ideas, and students will, I think, improve critically more.
Another question is, how do you manage accurate debating process
do we have
in your class?
Any other questions?
Yes. Can you hear me, Khurshed? Can you hear me? Hello?
Now I can, yes.
Okay. How do you manage accurate debating process in your class?
All right. So when we talk about classroom management, so what should I tell about it? Debate is like any other task in the classroom. It's like any other cooperative or team playing task in the classroom. And it needs, what it needs is you have to lead them through the task. What I do is like, here and there, I give them ideas on different topics, because sometimes students cannot come up with a way of dealing with certain tasks. So you have to be how to say, a person who just pushes them a little bit, and then they will get the idea. But in debate, Saadi, I think, gave a very big description of debate, a very easy to understand description of debate, of course, in the previous session. And what I do in my classroom, I use the same techniques, the same methodology which Saadi talked about in the previous session. And what I do, I give here and there, I give ideas. So of course there goes classroom management skills. Or you have to at times you have to stop them from fighting, and then there you have to give some ideas, and then ask the others to listen to that. And I think that the process in itself will help you. The class in itself, there will be students who will how to say, help you through the course of the debating in the classroom. But I think in my mind the debate is like any other team player task in the classroom. It doesn't have any other, like how to say, any big differences. So that's what I.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Khurshed. We have just more questions. Unfortunately, yeah, the time is running very fast. And right now we would suggest, we'll keep all these questions, and then we'll have a Q&A session also on our Facebook. So you can also just see, you can post your questions on Facebook as well. We will ask Khurshed also to respond to your questions very briefly by using comment box on Facebook. And of course, like, you know, who are asking your questions in Zoom will also just ask Khurshed to give very precise and brief replies to them. So okay, and now so we say a big thank you to Khurshed Abdulloev for giving such an interesting presentation about how to use critical thinking, how to integrate critical thinking skills in EFL classroom. Thanks a lot, Khurshed, for a very interesting and very comprehensive presentation. The audience really got interested in that, and they were asking, you know, how to download your materials. So we'll be just sharing all those materials via our website. The audience, thank you once again for your active participation.